I've got these old oak floorboards, so I thought these would be ideal, make this bit of a box with. I put them through my bandsaw and cut them down to width. Ideally it'd have been nice to have a thickness planer or something like that, but I haven't got one. So anyway, it was a matter of trimming these down on this and then getting the sander on them to tidy them up a bit. I wanted to put a bit of a rebate on the end of each piece of wood for joining together, but in hindsight, really I should have just used a router. The blade that I've got my circular saw isn't the right one, to be honest with you. Once I've cut all the pieces, then it's obviously a matter of joining it all together. Which are just wood glued together and held together with elastic bands and a couple of clamps. The idea was to make a complete box and then cut the top off for the lid. Now a bit of a sand up, and it's basically now showing, I suppose, how good them joints are when everything's all cleaned up. And on the joints that weren't as tight as I wanted, I decided to put a bit of filler in with the bit of wood glue and sawdust. Bit more sanding, and at this point, I mean, the box doesn't look too bad, to be fair. The joints look pretty good, all nice and tidy. These what I'm sanding now are some bitter laminated oak and pine, I think it is, and the idea is to give like a bit of a ribbon effect around the outside. At this point, I decided to stick this ribbon on before I cut the lid off, which, to be honest with you, comes back to haunt me. The thinking was, as I just cut the lid off with my bandsaw, but as you'll see in a bit, my bandsaw isn't wide enough to actually do it. It'll go to about 90mm, my bandsaw will, and this box set was about 95mm. So it ended up a bit of a disaster. This is where I'm finding out, as I can't cut it. It's, like I say, a bit of a disaster really. So I'm kind of thinking now, how the hell am I going to cut this lid off? And the only thing I can think of is the table saw. Anyway, I started cutting this off. This couple of cuts weren't too bad. I think the third cut was okay. Putting tape on to try and stop it folding in, if you like. The only issue I've got is because I've got this ribbon on, obviously it wouldn't sort of sit straight, so I'm putting packers in there. Anyway, when I did the final cut, you know, it wasn't as good as I wanted, so I ended up running it through again to tidy things up. Now I'm making a bit of a wooden loop to go on top of the box, just like a bit of a handle, I suppose, for lifting the lid off. I decided to make I cut 2 or 3 holes just purely because I didn't know how they're going to turn out, so I thought I got 1 or 2 to play with if things went a bit AWOL. And to be fair, they did with a couple of them. Here I put a board on top of the bandsaw base plate just because I kept losing the bits down there, down by the blade. I don't know if you can see it, but I put a nail in on the board to try and make it sort of so I could cut a circle quite easy. But anyway, it wasn't as good as I thought it would turn out. But it, you know, I kind of got the basic shape and then went to the sander and tidied it up to get the shape I wanted. Here I'm cutting some strips of oak off the floorboards again. These will go inside the lid to help the lid locate on the base. Just fixing them in with a bit of super glue, that's all. That bandsaw I'm using isn't bad really. The one I've used to cut these strips. If you haven't seen my video on it, go and check it out. Now I'll stick the lid pull on top again with a bit of super glue, and then the only thing left is to put a bit of Danish oil on it and jobs are good. And one small thing I do want to do just to finish it off completely is put a bit of felt in the bottom of it. I ended up giving it a couple of coats of this oil, let it soak in for sort of 10 minutes and then give it a wipe off, and then I gave it another coat and did the same again, and then that's it. It didn't turn out too bad, better than I anticipated at one point, especially when I was cutting the lid off and having a load of trauma with that. But these things come to test you, and in the end it hasn't turned out too bad at all. It serves its purpose, and it's sort of what I intended. You live and learn with these jobs, and hopefully if I make another, you know, I'll improve on that and make a better job. But happy enough with this one at the moment. So anyway, I'll leave it there, and if you've got this far, thanks for watching. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be great, and hopefully I'll see you when my next video comes around.